But what it does, it's a two-way sync between ChiroTouch and HighLevel. So to kind of start off, it's going to pull all of ChiroTouch, all the patients, all the appointments, providers, the name, email, phone number, birthday, address of the contact, and upload directly into HighLevel.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the High Level Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase awesome marketers doing awesome marketing. Today, I am joined by an awesome integrator. Jayce Tilley is here, and he is the co-founder and CEO of Thrive, which is a software integrations company that specializes in the chiropractic industry, which I'm sure will be very exciting for a lot of our viewers today. Jayce, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, Chase. I'm super excited to be here. Really excited to what we got to share today. So
yeah, I think it's going to help a lot of people, because if you work with chiropractors, you know that they all use some sort of EHR platform, right? And most of them are super frustrating, at least in my experience. But over the years, I feel like ChiroTouch has really kind of risen to the top as the platform of choice. Would you agree with that?
yeah, for sure. ChiroTouch is the main leader in the industry. There's about 4 or 5 other ones that are, up there, but ChiroTouch for sure is the top top EHR for sure.
And so Jayce and his team have spent some time recently building an integration between ChiroTouch and HighLevel, which I think is going to excite a lot of people to hear that news. So talk to me about the integration and what exactly it does.
Yeah, for sure. Just a little background. I've been doing a lot of integrations with different EHRs and different things. I have about 30 different integrations with our company, and so I'm really excited about this one to be able to connect ChiroTouch to HighLevel. I think it's going to help a ton of agencies. I've already got some feedback from a few agencies, and they're really excited about it. So yeah, so. It was actually about a year ago that I got connected with Sean, and he kind of said, "Hey, is there any way?" I had already had a ChiroTouch integration with some other things I was doing, but it didn't connect to HighLevel. And as we were talking with Sean, I had got connected to him with one of my other partners, and he said, "Is there any way we can, get this to integrate? I think we can help a lot of agencies and a lot of chiropractors." And so we started to go down that route. And it took us, unfortunately, it took us longer than we had hoped, but some of these integrations, they're really complex just across the board, no matter who you're trying to integrate with. They're really complex, but we started digging away, and we finally got it completed. And I'll dive into a little bit more of the details, but one of the reasons it did take so long, I've been a part of other integrations where, we were kind of on a time crunch, and we wanted to, get it launched and get it out to people. And it was working, but all the nuts and bolts weren't screwed down tight, and it worked, but it didn't take off. It didn't help people like it was supposed to. So with this launch with you guys, and I wanted to make sure that this integration was, locked down. It was good, and there's always going to be hiccups and bumps and that kind of thing. But I wanted to make sure that this was a really well-oiled machine working well, that it's going to really help the agencies and their clients, and not, just be another headache, another software that just is another bugs and that kind of thing. So that's one of the reasons why it took so long. I want to make sure it's a really good, solid integration. But what it does, it's a two-way sync between ChiroTouch and HighLevel. So to kind of start off, it's going to pull all of ChiroTouch, all the patients, all the appointments, providers, the name, email, phone number, birthday, address of the contact, and upload directly into HighLevel automatically. And so all that information is just going to automatically populate. If a new patient, or someone schedules an adjustment in ChiroTouch, or the office does, it's going to automatically populate into HighLevel, which is huge. Anyone that's tried to do anything like that, it's a big deal. I've talked to agencies, they're uploading appointments manually, or they're having the office schedule it in ChiroTouch and in HighLevel. And so this integration is going to be able to save chiropractors and agencies a ton of time from it just automatically populating into it. And
Absolutely.
then once it's in there, now the agency can trigger all types of campaigns really for the chiropractor, even from reminders. All the appointments are going into HighLevel. So now you can send out appointment reminders. You could send out, it's also updating statuses. So if someone cancels an appointment or misses an appointment, they can trigger off text messages saying, hey, we missed your appointment. Let's get you rescheduled. Patient reactivation, reviews, triggering reviews. I mean, it's a super powerful tool that's gonna help a lot of people. So that's kind of the first piece of it, is being able to do all those things. The second piece that I'm even more excited about is the two-way sync. So not only are we syncing that information from ChiroTouch to HighLevel, but now when somebody schedules an appointment or updates information in HighLevel, that's also going to get pushed back to ChiroTouch.
Nice.
And so, and that's a piece that a lot of people have wanted and have been needing in the chiropractic industry. And so that's something we're super excited about. And since we have all of the appointments in HighLevel pulling from ChiroTouch, a new patient, for example, can get on the appointment widget and be able to see the doctor's open slots and availability and schedule their own appointments, taking time off, from the staff, not having to do that. And that kind of thing. And that will just automatically get pushed right into ChiroTouch. So
That's great. I mean, as marketers, we know it's such a pain in the butt when you would run up against a potential new client who is using some sort of legacy system where, I mean, let's talk about that. Like, they do not want to have to leave their EHR, right? Like it's very hard to get a chiropractic office to just say, sure, we'll just scrap it and go with whatever you recommend, right?
Right.
So the problem is you're often like, well, look, like if we could just do what we want, like we know how to generate new business. But it always comes down to that question, but how are you going to get it into my system, right? And so being able to say, yep, you use ChiroTouch, we're good to go, is such a huge piece of making that sale. And then being able to run all the campaigns that you want on the front end and HighLevel the way that you want to run them, and know that the data is going to end up back in ChiroTouch is huge.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're not chiropractors. It's a pain to be able to switch EHRs. It happens every once in a while, but try to get them to switch. It's a pain. And the EHRs kind of do that on purpose, right? They don't want their people canceling and whatnot. So it is what it is. But yeah, to have this integration now and they're used to it, so they can keep scheduling, keep doing their normal business. They don't have to relearn any softwares or do any extra steps. They just do what they normally do in ChiroTouch. It's all going to get populated into HighLevel, and then you can start just running with it in HighLevel. So
now, when you talk to agency folks, I'm sure some of them have asked you to help, like, how do I pitch this integration? Sure. Like, what does that conversation look like? How do you advise that?
Yeah. So to start off, I was listening to one of the other spotlight sessions a little bit ago, and I can't remember who was with, but you talked about, these agencies needing to provide their clients with more, more features and more, more than just lead generation. Right. Mm-hmm. And so with this integration, especially if they're going to, white label HighLevel or anything like that, basically this whole system will be white labeled to them. And now they're not just doing lead generation. They're not just getting people in, but they're getting people in. They're reminding them of their appointments. They're reactivating inactive patients. They're getting them reviews. I mean, it's just, they go from just a lead generation company to a full-blown marketing agency. We're going to do from the front end to the back end. And so it creates a lot of credibility for that agency, especially ones that are, maybe they're smaller and they're wanting to, get going. And it really puts off to those chiropractors like, hey, these guys know what they're doing. They're not just some, mom and pop shop that are, just started last week running ads for chiropractors. Like, this is a legit company that's going to get me not only leads, but retain patients and all those other things I talked about. So that's kind of the start of it. But also,
that's a good piece. Can I jump in for it there for a second?
Yeah.
It's a good point in that HighLevel agencies, we're teaching them how to go become software companies, essentially white label HighLevel and sell it as a system in addition to your services. And being able to say, oh yes, our platform, whatever I call my version of HighLevel, integrates with ChiroTouch, immediately creates some authority right there, right? Because it's like, oh, ChiroTouch is this huge brand that we all know in our industry. So if they would integrate with you, therefore you must also be pretty legit. Your platform must be pretty legit. So I think I just want to point that out. Like, that's a great way to bolster the perception of your white label. Because when you go say, oh yeah, we integrate with ChiroTouch, of course, that's like, oh, I haven't heard of your platform yet, but it must be pretty good, if you guys have integrated with ChiroTouch.
Yep, exactly. Uh-huh.
Cool.
And then on top of that, I'm not going to talk about specifics with pricing or anything right now, but the way we're pricing this, and it's really going to help the agencies. There are some competitors out there, like Review Wave. They're a really big one that, they do reminders and review requests and that kind of thing. But they're pretty expensive. And so even if you're going to some of those people that already have those softwares, you're going to be able to provide them essentially the same features that they're getting already with someone else for a cheaper cost. And on top of that, the agency is going to get a cut of that as well. So that's kind of how I'll talk about it. The agencies that are wanting to sign up, I can kind of talk with them a little bit more in detail about that. But they're going to be able to do a reduced price and give the same features as a lot of the competitors out there with this type of integration. And so, these agencies are going to be able to go in and, show they have a good reputation by having this integration with ChiroTouch. They're going to be able to offer it for cheaper. And so it's a win-win-win for everyone, for the agency, for the chiropractor. And so it should be a fairly simple, even switch over from those that are using other softwares. So that's kind of the one piece of it. And then you'll also find other chiropractors that, they may not be using any kind of reminder system. They're still, calling people. They just haven't found, it's been too expensive to find a reminder system or any of those other things. And so be able to offer those offices a cheaper option as well than some of the, like Review Wave is going to be a great way to be able to get those clients as well. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So if people are interested, I'm sure at this point, some people are like, okay, well, what the heck, how do I get this?
How do I do it? Yeah.
Where do they head?
Yeah. So best play, I added a couple new tabs just right on our website, which is thrive.com, right on the main page. And it's spelled the number 3. So it's 3rive.com. And right on there, we got two buttons that say new, high level ChiroTouch integration. They just click on that. There's a form that they can fill out with some of our basic information. And what I'm kind of doing right now, I will give this piece away for, we have several offices on currently that we've been testing it with, and it's been working great. We want to bring on about 50 offices considered as our beta offices. Right. To really give us some good feedback on, hey, what changes or, what things we need to add and that kind of thing. For, those 50 offices that are going to come on, we're going to waive any kind of setup fee for them. Normally it's like a $300 setup fee to get these. These are pretty intense integrations. There is a lot of setup time to be able to do it. So those that are wanting to get on early and get on and quick and get going for those 50, we're going to waive that initial setup fee. And so, yeah, if you just go right on the website, fill out that form, and then, yeah, we'll be in contact with you to, get this rocking and rolling.
Awesome. Well, if you guys are working with chiros and you know that they're using ChiroTouch and you want to get them integrated with HighLevel, head on over to thrive.com. It is a creative spelling of the word thrive. So it's 3, the number, rive.com, and hop into the beta. Jayce, thanks so much for putting this together and for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, Chase.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.